Well, hello and welcome to the Shallow Proclamation. My name is Paul and this is...
Thomas.
And we're getting in our teeth into some new material now, Thomas. We've been watching through the classic era, but every time a bit of new Who media appears, we've been trying to jump on it. And is this only the second time that's happened since we started the project? We had The Power of the Doctor.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else?
That's a good point. I mean, there've been little
trailers
and bonus bits, and I get was it the comic relief special that had Lenny Henry regenerating into David Tennant, but that wasn't canon. That was just a bit of a silly skit.
Sure.
This is the first bit since The Power of the Doctor. This is the first bit of actual show, kind of, or continuing the story that we've had, isn't it?
Yeah. So we're going to watch the little 5-minute segment from Children in Need that was shown the other day. With it's the sort of first appearance, I guess, of the 14th Doctor, David Tennant, back in the role. So we said, full disclosure, we have both seen this. So I actually saw it on the night when I was watching Children in Need.
Yeah, so I couldn't resist. It came up on YouTube and I was like, oh, I really want to watch that.
Exactly. But we're going to withhold, we're not going to tell you what we think of it until we see it again. So I've only seen it once on the night, so
it'll be good to see it a second time around.
Absolutely, and I definitely would have revisited it. So here we are. So we'll get onto that in a sec. As always, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, let us know what you thought of this down in the comments, and if you want to chat more about Doctor Who, join us on our Discord server, where you can find a link in the description as well.
You see that, all right? Put the volume down slightly.
Now, did you recognise this guy?
I didn't, but then the moment I heard Davros, I was like, oh, it is. But then I read it is the same actor, isn't it?
As soon as he walked in, I went, oh, that's Julian Bleach, who plays Davros. And I was like,
Mark III travel machine.
Now this is just beautiful. This is such a iconic design from the classic era. We haven't quite got there yet.
Does it have that arm in the?
Not that arm.
Okay. No. Yeah, this is going to be interesting.
I initially thought when this first started, it looks very it's very Star Wars, isn't it?
It is.
So you could have look like members of the Empire.
Yeah. Now I was very surprised that it was a Dalek thing when I saw it, because I was like, oh, flippin' heck, they're already invoking the Daleks in just a Children in Need special.
Capable of annihilating my ultimate masterpiece of design.
What accent is he doing there?
Yes, I did some research. Since we're
Davros.
Davros
could be an anagram of Khaled, like Lekad. Adlek.
No.
Clade. Edleka.
No.
Davros, I need your confirmation to begin the next bombardment, sir.
Now that voice is a voice of a character from an old story. We'll get there, but or at least an approximation of it. The production values look great on this.
They do.
This looks lovely.
And RTD is kind of screaming, I'm here for the fans. You know what you want.
Yeah.
Oh, and this. Oh, it's so good, isn't it?
A TARDIS looks just beautiful there.
Oh, there he is.
In all his glory.
I got a bit lost. It's funny. 60 minutes ago, I was this really brilliant woman. It's your face back again. I mean, why?
The music.
Why?
Yeah.
I ask of you, my brand new friend. Why? You're a bit of a puzzle. Oh. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I think I broke this multi-claw adaptable. What is it? Oh. That's a Dalek.
Good word. Dalek. Yes, that's it.
I'm lucky I wasn't exterminated.
Exterminated? Yes, but yes.
Wait a minute. Do you mean this is the genesis of the Daleks?
Oh, this is the stuff. Thank you.
No, stop it. Look, I was never ever here. Never. The timelines of the canon are rupturing. I'm just going to go.
Canon.
I'm not going to say anything.
Canon. Why does he say canon? It's brilliant. It's very meta, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Right. Hold on. Never here.
Where were we, Mr. Castivillian? The splendid design of my set.
I love how he doesn't notice that there's a massive hole in the side of the ship.
I like it.
Oh, dear.
There we go. So what did you make of that, Paul?
Yeah, well, I mean, I enjoyed it. I didn't expect it to be. I didn't expect to see a Dalek. I didn't expect to see Davros. I've been really good at not really being on any forums or anything, like reading up on stuff for these specials and bits around them. So, and actually, I think life is just too busy actually, to be for that. So it was nice to kind of have that. As soon as, like I say, as soon as Julian Bleach walked in, I was like, that looks like Julian Bleach. You know, and then they said Davros. I was like, oh, he is supposed to be Davros, sort of pre-accident Davros. And then, of course, to have... there's a couple of little references in that to a story from the Tom Baker era. The genesis of the Daleks, as the Doctor says. Right. So there's a couple of nice little throwbacks in there, like the design of the Dalek itself. The voice that comes over the intercom and calls Davros is a character from the story. Yeah, I really liked it. I wasn't what I expected at all. And, you know, I liked that. Obviously, it's a little bit tongue-in-cheek, you know, with the plunger and Davros being like, I like it. You know?
Yeah.
And the fact that Tennant says as well, like, this is rupturing canon and stuff.
Yeah.
So you can kind of do with it as you wish. You don't have to think of it as a proper part of the series if you don't want to, I suppose, if you're unhappy with it. But yeah, I thought it was really nice, and like I say, it looks beautiful. Like even just in that room, and the design of the Dalek and the design of the room, the lighting just looks great, and it just gives me high hopes for what's coming on the weekend.
Yeah. I think I agree. I think when I first saw it, I was like, what the heck is this? Because I think to invoke the Daleks, you're like, it's obviously the Doctor's arch enemy. And Tennant was always very good at doing, when he sees a Dalek, you see the kind of heart sinking, like, oh my goodness, it's the Daleks. And that was built up really well in the original RTD era. And so to do a skit with Davros and the genesis of the Daleks that kind of plays it entirely for laughs and is very meta and ironically detached, it's very kind of current, I guess. But I was like, what the heck are they doing? But it is hard not to enjoy it, isn't it? I mean, it's fun because it's the fact that he's coming up with anagrams and he doesn't think of Dalek. And then someone wrote a very astute comment beneath the video that I read on the day where it was like the Doctor can't help but contribute to the formation of the Daleks. And I thought that was an interesting idea, that in this moment he's like, he realizes, oh wait, I'm actually part of the story of how the Daleks came to be. And he's like, oh, screw it, I'll just give them the plunger then. So I think in terms of capturing the post-regeneration, because the Doctor is always a bit manic post-regeneration, isn't he? And the TARDIS is going all over the place. And the idea that he just gets swept into some completely out of his depth and then he just ends up doing something stupid like that is actually kind of believable. So now I think watching it second time around, I enjoyed it a lot more. But it definitely surprised me in terms of the direction it went in.
It's the second time we've had, I don't know if they did it for any other doctors, but it's the second time we've had a children in need between a regeneration and the next Doctor. So, of course, David Tennant's first real appearance was in the short Children in Need skit with Billie Piper, where she's asking him in the TARDIS, is he a Slitheen and stuff? And then, of course, it then picks up, the Christmas Invasion sort of just picks up, but you don't need to have seen it to make the Christmas Invasion work. And I guess it's the same for this, that whatever comes out on Saturday, you won't need to have seen this to make sense of it. It kind of stands alone. Even though there is continuity.
That was a good move, wasn't it? It is a self-contained, just fun little short in a way. A bit like, I guess, things like the Paul McGann short, where with John Hurt.
Yeah.
Or like really fun for the fans and really cool, but you don't have to see it if you're just watching the main show. And also stuff like Pond Life.
Yeah, and actually, like the McGann thing really wouldn't have made much sense to a lot of people who'd never seen McGann. Yeah, because they wouldn't have known even who he was, let alone why John Hurt appears at the end, sort of as a reflection. So it's very, Have you heard anything around the slight controversy around what RTD has said about Davros?
I did catch wind of this online, that some people were challenging him on the fact that he didn't depict him as the traditional Davros. And did he say that it would be insensitive or something? And then the fans were like, "What are you talking about? It's Davros. That's what he looks like."
Yeah, I mean, I've not seen the actual thing. I think it was in the kind of Doctor Who Unleashed making of thing, and I think he said something along the lines of whether this I can't quote him, but what he said, if when I read it quoted, very much gave the impression that what he was saying was, this is what Davros looks like now because we can't depict Davros as disabled and a villain, because that creates this idea that people maybe like they've said about Bond films, the villain always has a disfigurement or something, and Davros is disabled, and so it puts this thing, has this connotation of people in wheelchairs being made out like this. Now, I don't know all the ins and outs of whether he actually meant that in the sense of this is what Davros looks like now. So if Davros does appear again, is he going to retcon Davros ever being in a chair? I don't know. That seems quite extreme. So I don't really know where I sit on it. I totally understand his position on, you want to have characters in stories who, you don't want it to be the case that, oh, it's someone with a deformity, they must be bad. It's a disabled person, they must be bad. You don't want that to be the case at all. Equally, if he is saying, we're just retconning Davros into, able-bodiedness, part of me kind of goes, I don't know if I think that's great either. From a kind of ideological point of view or from a story point of view, it just seems ridiculous that on that front. But I don't know enough about what he's actually said to know that. I would say though that growing up watching Davros, it never once crossed my mind that he was disabled.
Yes, that's true.
I never looked at him and thought, and it's not like I sat there and then when I was out and about, I saw people in wheelchairs and went, oh, bet they're genocidal maniacs as well. Just didn't even cross my mind that he was disabled. So I don't know, but
yeah, what's the accessibility like on Skaro?
Well, also I think growing up as a child, which is what you tend to do, you don't grow up as an adult most of the time. You start out younger and get older. Especially Benjamin Button. When I was a kid, I don't think I was sure whether Davros was like half man, half Dalek. Because it's now very much the case that you've seen him out of the chair. And whereas before, I think I kind of assumed, or when I was younger, I just thought he might be half a Dalek, half a man, and I don't think I thought anything of it. I guess later there are like Big Finish audios which have his history before the series where he is able-bodied, but that was something later that came along in extended media. So,
and it's worth saying that Moffat depicted him as an able-bodied boy, didn't he, in that Capaldi episode when
Yeah, but I know he came into there was some criticism of that episode because the Doctor throws him out of his chair and rides around in it. But, there's discussions to be had around it. And so I'll be interested to see where it lands. I don't think we're going to be seeing Davros particularly soon anyway in Doctor Who, I doubt. But but it's a discussion. People will have different opinions on it. And that's okay. We can all have different opinions on it, particularly if we're not really sure what the actual discussion is anyway. And you can still enjoy Doctor Who and be nice and polite to one another in the comments.
I have a lot of respect for RTD. I probably disagree with him on some things, but I think he's a great writer. And although I have slightly mixed feelings about this short, I am still no less excited about what's coming on Saturday. So
same.
Yeah. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. Do subscribe if you'd like to stay in the loop, and we'll be back soon. And do join our Discord by clicking the link below. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Don't want to hold back.